Remember those awkward moments when you accidentally sent a spicy text to your mom? Yeah, this is way worse than that. Picture this. Washington's elite, huddled in a top-secret signal group chat, planning airstrikes in Yemen. Sounds serious, right? Well, it turns out someone forgot to check the participant list because Jeffrey Goldberg, the big cheese over at, was chilling in the chat. You know, just casually witnessing war plans alongside his morning coffee. Cringe. Goldberg, being the stand-up journalist he is, hopped out of the chat faster than you can say Espionage Act, but not before absorbing enough intel to send shockwaves through Washington. Remember that time a certain presidential candidate got in hot water for mishandling classified info? Well, get ready for round 2, folks, because this time, it's the other team's turn in the hot seat. This wasn't just any group chat gone wrong. We're talking about Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the guy who literally oversees the military, casually dropping sensitive military intel just hours before dropping actual bombs. And who did he accidentally CC on this little exchange? Oh, just the editor-in-chief of one of America's most respected publications. This wasn't some intern messing up the office coffee order. This was a national security meltdown of epic proportions. Buckle up, folks, because this is about to get messy. So what exactly went down in this digital war room? Hegseth, in all his infinite wisdom, decided it was a brilliant idea to share the who, what, when, and where of the Yemen airstrikes in the Signal chat. You know, the usual stuff you'd expect to be guarded with, like a bazillion security clearances. We're talking targets, timelines, weaponry, the whole shebang. It was like a crash course in military operations, except the only prerequisite was being in the wrong group chat. Goldberg, realizing he'd stumbled onto a story juicier than a Watergate informant, did what any self-respecting journalist would do. He hit publish. Well, not before responsibly omitting the super-duper classified bits that could get people, killed. But even with the redactions, the article sent Washington into a tailspin. Suddenly everyone from senators to talk show hosts was buzzing about the Signal chat scandal. The fallout was about as subtle as a Moab in a china shop. The Senate Intelligence Committee, never ones to miss a good grilling, hauled CIA Director John Ratcliffe and Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard in for a chat. Under oath, they sang a familiar tune. Oops, our bad, but it wasn't classified information. Convenient, right? They blamed Hegseth for having loose lips while dodging questions about why government officials were discussing war plans on an app you use to gossip with your friends. It was like watching a masterclass in political deflection. Meanwhile, Democrats, smelling blood in the water, or maybe just the faint scent of hypocrisy, were ready to pounce. House Leader Hakeem Jeffries demanded Hegseth's resignation faster than you can say national security breach. Senator Mark Warner, never one to mince words, called the whole debacle sloppy, careless, and incompetent, and that was him being polite. Democrats weren't just stopping at angry speeches, though. They hinted at potential Espionage Act violations and demanded a full-blown investigation. Double standards and dodgy defenses. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Remember a few years back when a certain someone's emails were all over the news? You know, the one involving a private server and accusations of mishandling classified information? Well, the irony of the Signal chat scandal wasn't lost on anyone. The same folks who were up in arms about emails were now bending over backward to defend using an unsecured messaging app to discuss military secrets. President Trump, never one to miss an opportunity to contradict himself, brushed off the whole thing as a minor glitch. He blamed a rogue staffer for adding Goldberg to the chat and insisted no harm, no foul. Goldberg, however, wasn't having any of it. In a scathing response, he called Trump's statement a blatant lie and reiterated the seriousness of the breach. So, what happens now? The Signal chat scandal isn't just another Washington drama, it's a stark reminder of the blurred lines between national security and personal tech. This isn't just about a group text gone wrong, it's about potential damage to US credibility on the world stage. Imagine being an ally and finding out the US is discussing sensitive military operations on an app your teenager uses to share memes. Not exactly confidence-inspiring, right? The long-term consequences remain to be seen, but one thing's for sure, this isn't going away anytime soon. The Signal chat scandal is a potent cocktail of political hypocrisy, national security concerns, and a healthy dose of what were they thinking. It's a scandal that will likely be debated and dissected for years to come. And as for those involved, well, they might want to think twice before hitting send in the future. You know, just in case a journalist happens to be lurking in the digital shadows. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Pete Hegseth be fired? Was this a major breach or overblown? Like, share and subscribe for real news made simple.